Hi. Please tell me this time the sound is working. I hope so.
Is
Is
it
it
working?
working?
I
I
hope
hope
so.
so.
Um,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
I'm
just
just
starting
starting and
and let's
let's
see
see
how
how
it
it
goes.
goes.
Do
Do
let
let
me
me
know
know
if
if
you
you
can
can
hear
hear
me
me
and
and
you
you
can
can
see
see
me
me
and
and
if
if
there's
there's
an
an
echo
echo
and
and
all
all
those
those
things.
things.
Um,
Um,
hey
hey
Carmen,
Carmen,
hey
hey
Kara.
Kara.
Yay!
Yay.
Okay.
Okay. Is the sound working now? Oh, I'm always scared that like, if I'm playing with things, it should just now I'm just talking until you tell me. Um, which is always funny if you can't hear me anymore. Always funny. But I hope that it's okay. Okay, cool. Cool. Then it is official. I have to use the Hey Christiana. It's official. I have to use the sound from my phone, which, as far as I recall, unfortunately means that it's a bit less clear, but hopefully it's good enough and you can hear me clearly and understand me. And yeah, we have a lot of stuff to do today. Um, so we're gonna start with finishing off the roof. I'll do the double screen. There we go. So you can see I have sort of posted a photo of um, the roof and like the walls and the roof after I added them, and I'll show you more maybe details, but you can see that maybe you can see here, for example, that basically after the live I've made another sheet of wood paper, not wood paper, wood texture paper. And I did it with different coloration, so I could add like, kind of different colorations for variation in the shingles and to kind of give the feel that, yeah, maybe, there's like places that were a bit damaged and were fixed and all this kind of like fun stuff, just fun stuff. Um, and now we only have the power top to finish. So let's get to it and do that. Yeah, I must not forget. Before we start, I'll probably remind it in the end, but I'm very, very excited to say that me and thank you, Carmen, that I'm joining up with a friend of mine, Jess from Matter of Crafts. If you know her on YouTube, she's Matter of Crafts on Instagram as well, I believe. She's a wonderful, amazing, talented, amazing, awesome person in general. And we're going to start doing a live stream together like once a month. We decided to go on the third Sunday of every month, which means this Sunday. So this Sunday we're going to start. It's starting. It'll be 5 p.m. CT. And am I saying it right? Was it 5 p.m.? Yes, 5 p.m. CT, and I believe it was 11 EST. I have already scheduled it. If you go to my channel or Jess' channel, you will find the scheduled yeah, the scheduled video there and the live stream. You can click a reminder and see all the details. And we're just gonna have fun. Yeah. But today we're gonna have fun with this house. So let's get started. Moving full screen to the desk. And yeah, we have our we're gonna do the tower top. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of wood grain shingles here, like die cuts that I've already cut and ready. Um, there's more here than I actually need, but I always like to have more than I need, just in case. And we're just gonna start kind of basically building layers on here. And I am going to probably, yeah, let's just do a variation because I like having weird shingles in the middle. I just think it gives it more character. So I'm just taking this piece, and you can probably guess that, yeah, it's a piece that I cut off some other layer somewhere. Um, and I'm just darkening the edges a little bit. Hey, Sandy, good morning. What time is it there? Where are you actually? This is exciting because here it's definitely not morning here, but okay. So I'm just gonna put some glue here on the side, and we're gonna place this guy here. Push it. Basically, I'm gonna push it till I see that it reaches kind of the corner here. See? And then I'm just gonna bring in my scissors. Just a second, just making sure it's sitting. Just cut it off. Like this. So yeah, I do plan today to I'll talk after I'll add some. Let's see. You can see that this is enough here. One of the fun parts at this stage is actually to start playing with the tiny, all these little pieces that were left from doing the rest of the roof. I can use now to kind of make a little puzzle roof sort of thingy, and kind of give it more character. Um, and also just, use up all the material I have, which is always nice. It always feels nice. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more tricky. Yeah. Don't necessarily like cutting it from this direction, but that's the direction that is convenient for my hand. So that's how it's going to go. And just, you can see there's the white edge there. Oh, 10 a.m. in British Columbia, Canada. Cool. How cold is it? Is it freezing? I mean, in winter, I always imagine Canada super cold. Um, so yeah, once you darken it, you can see how the edge is less clear and it's much more, it just becomes more of a finished, gives it all a more finished feel. And you can technically just go up this triangle, go each side at a time. I kind of like working around, um, I would say circle, but it's a pyramid shape. It's kind of weird maybe to call it a circle, but something like that. Just because then I can make sure that I have a sort of even level all around. So in this case, you can see that this piece fits quite nicely across. So I'm just going to go with this piece. Now I'll put the glue here. It's more convenient. And we can just adjust it so it fits the height of the layer we already made. And yeah, I usually, if you give it a second, I give it a second for the glue to kind of catch, and then it's easier to cut off the edges without having the whole thing kind of dancing around. Yep, this, and we can darken the edges nicely. This, cool. Hey, it might not take forever. We'll see. I'm just always with the roofs, It always takes me longer than I would expect it to. So I'm not sure exactly how long we're gonna be working on it, but hey, it's all fun. And I think that the other things that we're going to work on, the door and the window frames, don't necessarily at least need to take a long time. Not very cold today. Okay. The snow is melting. Ooh, cool. Alrighty. I'm guessing that you're all tired of snow by now. I always love snow because I hardly ever get snow. So I'm always kind of jealous with people that have snow regularly every year. And they're always jealous of me because I don't have snow. So, think that's just how it always goes. Okay, so and just making sure here that yeah. Okay. I was worried for a second that I didn't put enough glue, but I did. It's all good. Something. Okay. So this one went in a bit of an odd angle, and it's not leaving me a lot of space to add a shingle here. So I'm just cutting it a bit so we'll have space to just glue it in. There we go. I think we'll go with another one of these more shabby shingles. And you know that when I'm adding it, and I always make sure that the edge that is inside, the edge that is next to the shingles, that I darken it. Again, it creates a bit of depth and also kind of hides a little of the fact that, well, the fact that it's paper, basically. So yeah, I'm gonna push it down a bit so it's a little longer to give the variation of length. And there is absolutely no reason to worry about the line here, like how straight or crooked it is, because it's going to be hidden in a second by the next layer of shingles. So really just kind of play around with it, have fun with building your little puzzle tower. And I think, yeah, I dropped a piece of paper straight into the chimney. But we got it out, it's all good. The chimney will not be blocked. Okay. And here we'll do. So when I choose like which piece of paper basically or piece of yeah, shingle die to put next, I do try to make a to make sure that it's not exactly the same as the one below it. Just even a little bit of differentiation of colors just gives so much more character. And also just gives, because it's of the difference, it just accentuates, the layers of the shingles. So all for good. Hey, Sharon. Hey, Mariella. Good evening. Oh, still at work in Italy. What time would it be in Italy? Is it 7 in Italy or is it? I mean, yeah. But thank you for joining me then. No, it's not always easy. I know that, like when you do live streams in the middle of the week, a lot of times people can't really join in, but that's why we always have the replays. And yeah, because yeah, you just need to find the time that works for as many people as you can, basically. Okay, so this one did a bit of a weird thing here. I think. No, it's fine. Good. Very good. Yes, it's sitting. I'll just take the marker and darken the edges. I will say it doesn't even matter like which brown you're using. I used to use ground espresso, but then my ground espresso marker pretty much died. So so I'm using this one is Gather Twigs, but pretty much any brown or black would work. Because the important thing is really to just give this feeling of shade, um, just to cut it, just to, yeah, make it more finished. Okay, we can use this one here. I kind of want it to be a longer one. Let's see. And let me know if I'm boring the hell out of you. I do apologize. This is my jam. You know, like for me, if you've seen my miniature mansion stream, then you know that I became addicted to doing wood floors, basically like wood parquet floors. Hey, Moika. Um, and just to, and yeah, it became sort of my meditation. So you can imagine this is pretty close. And I'm basically having the time of my life here, but I am fully aware of the fact that it might be slightly, I don't know, repetitive for you. So I hope not. I hope this is useful. And you can see, of course, that as we go up with the layers, the pieces become smaller and smaller. But in truth, it looks really it looks complicated, I think, when you look at it. Like when you look at a finished roof, you're kind of like, how did this happen? But actually, it's really not that complicated. It just takes a bit of time and patience, and that's it. Hello, kitten. Sorry, that was me actually talking to my kitten, my cat, that showed up in the room. Okay. So I'm just using this little piece that we cut off from another layer before to start off. So we got a nice shabby shingle. And now we can continue with this one. This is already inked on this side. So I'll just add it up. And I'm pulling it up a bit so it's a little so basically it would fit with this one with the length, just making sure it's sitting sort of straight. And we can cut off this side. Go. Yes. Hello. Do you want to come to the camera, please? You're gonna jump on my table. Oh, honestly. I always feel like if my cat is already coming into my craft room while I'm doing a live, she should at least come to the camera and say hi. But apparently she was not interested. I do apologize. Okay. So, obviously, it would be faster if you don't try to kind of create these little puzzles and use little parts. If you just go with just take pieces and go around and create the um, the shingle layers, then it will be a lot faster. So, if you don't feel like it, if you're kind of trying to finish something fast, just take into account that what I'm doing is not the fast way. Um, I am never the person to learn how to do things fast from, I'm afraid. And it's also, I think, I always feel like it depends what your aim is, like what kind of character you want to give to the house. Because if you want it to be old and shabby, then doing what I'm doing makes sense and it gives it this shabby, broken character. But if you want it to be a nice, beautiful new house, just built and ready, then yeah, you don't necessarily want it to look this uneven and have weird shaped shingles and stuff like that. So again, it depends on the project, what you're making, what kind of feel you want it to have. And that's really, I feel like, this is really the fun with dyes, honestly, because um, like I think that it took me a while to understand how many options you actually get when you buy a set of dies and you start playing with it. Because in the beginning you're kind of like, oh, well, this will give me this shape, and okay, that's nice. But it's really when you start playing around with it and, you know, think outside the box, basically. And this is not even what I'm doing here, I would say, because I'm still making a house. I don't know. Yeah, it's fun. Okay. I think we'll just go with a more normal layer now. You long enough? I do believe you are. I always also kind of take into account the layers of the shingle layer below and try to make sure that they don't match completely, that they're kind of quirky and overlapping. Um, and yeah, don't know that, shingles would actually look like that, except for maybe on a very old, dilapidated house. But I don't know. Yeah. In the end, of course, even though we are working on basically a realistic looking house, this is still art. And when you do art, you kind of do what you want. Isn't that the fun of it? Really? Okay, let's put this here. Okay. I hope that you can uh, see well everything that I'm doing and that it's all clear. Of course, if you have any questions now during the stream, or if you're watching on replay, please do feel free to leave a question in the comments. I would love to hear what you think. And yeah, all of that. Because this is okay. Wait. Uh-huh. Good. Yes. Sit. Sit. Good. We're good. Yes. Every now and then, apparently, you need to talk to your shingles. Okay. I think also least for me, when I'm doing these lives, one of my purposes in a way is also to kind of give you an idea of how long it actually takes to do these things. Um, just because, yeah, I'm really bad at planning time with this. I always get surprised by how long something takes me. Um, and I don't know. I felt it might be useful in a way. We're we are getting very close to the end. Very close, I think. Um, we'll put it around here. I'm gonna add another shabby shingle there, here. And yeah, there we go. I will say also, you might notice that I do put quite a lot of um, layers of shingles. You can definitely like get away with less. I just, I don't know. I really like this look, so this is what I'm doing. And I hope that you find it useful. Um, yeah, okay, that's good. Um, next one, let's go here. Can take this piece here. And yep, that piece just flew right off. Okay. I do like using, like, if I know that I have, small pieces leftovers from the, well, the rest of the roof. I do like using that first, just because, but I don't actually have that much left over, which is probably cool. Set this. I think we only need like a couple more layers here. We'll see exactly. Maybe even one. We'll see. When I get to the edge, like, it's easier when you work on these roofs, it's a little easier because you have the top that you put there. So you kind of reach a point when, okay, I reached the top. So that's the end of this roof. But it just, when I'm doing this, it's always hard for me to kind of decide how many more layers I will need. Then you just continue and you find out, I guess. I think, let's see, this might, ooh, go. Oh, alright. Let's see. So basically what I'm doing now is just, we're going to take this piece, for example, put it here. I think, second, there's for some reason a white little spot here and I don't like it. I think we might be finishing. Let's see. down. Oop. Yeah. This part can be a little bit tricky because we are dealing with very small parts, but in the end, it does all basically work the same as what we did till now. And yeah, I think this would be the final layer. This is very exciting. Okay, so let's go around. Don't think I'll just continue with this one, or maybe we'll do this one. Nah. Yeah. I might use another piece for the rest of them because basically the shingles on this piece are quite wide. So it's pretty much like really one shingle, which is fine for one kind of corner, but I don't want it all around. Just because I like having more of a variation. Yeah, almost done, my friends. Let's take maybe this piece. Yeah. Just take this part. And I'm just making sure when I'm gluing that, you know, that at the back, the tape is all the way up. Focus, please. Thank you, camera. And so, yeah, so it covers everything and we get a nice triangular top. So, oops. Okay, darkening, edge. Last piece, my friends. Last one. Shall we take this one? Yes, I think so. Yep. Cool. Put some glue on. Make sure that it's just a bit too much glue there. Just making sure again that it's all the way up to the top. We have a nice layer here. Okay. And up this. And this side. Somehow, yeah. It's not the pointiest tip anymore, but that's actually kind of cool. We'll see. And there we go. We have a lovely towel roof. Coolness. Okay. So we finished with that, and now the next step, I'm actually gonna play around with the door. And then we'll do the window frames, because I think that the window frames will, at least, I don't plan on doing anything. Okay. There are some pieces that I think have a little bit of glue on them, and that's why they refuse to leave my working surface, which is very rude indeed. Alrighty, so let's talk about the door. So, because I used this this kind of extra piece here, the addition for the front of the house. It comes with basically a kind of door that opens, well, yeah, like two doors, basically, a set of two doors like this, right? That well, it's very fitting with certain types of building. I think that originally this edition was more for like the mansion type or a church and stuff like that. But my plan for this house, or my idea for this house, is actually a very kind of cute little woodsy house of some, I don't know, magical person. So I actually don't want this to be a double door. I want this to be a single door, like we have on the usual on the regular house. So what I'm going to do is actually kind of cheat, and I'll show you how I'm going to use the dies still, but make one door. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually cut this side off. Ta-da! Oh no! And no, uh, it's all good. And this side is actually going to work as a hinge that I will build door on. So I'm just removing the top part. Oh, I may have cut a bit too much. No, no, yes, there we go. I'm removing the top part just so it will be easier for me to kind of glue things down, but this will be a sort of hinge for the door. Although my plan is basically to have the door quite closed. But yeah, let's get to the dies. And we'll also talk a bit about texture. So yeah, so if you look, this is like a swatch page of all the windows and the doors. And the thing is, so this is the regular door for the regular house. And you can see also here, this is the opening. I'll put it above the black so you can see easier. This is the opening of the regular door. And the door we're using now is this one. And you can see that we don't really have a die that actually cuts a full one. We only have the two halves because it's built to have the two sides, right? So we're gonna just cheat and but we'll have to use this die. I'm gonna just get it out of here where we are. There we go. Come along. There we go. I'll just, yeah. I don't feel like taking the whole thing out. So you can see this is the die, and you see that actually the die itself is too wide because it cuts two parts. So what we'll do is, so first of all, um, we're gonna need to choose how the door would look like. Yes. And I think I would like it to be of wood as well. I'm just not sure. Just have one of the leftover pieces of wood grain paper that I've already stained. And yeah, I think we'll just use it. So let's just cut this. We'll use our little sidekick here. And apologies ahead for everything shaking around. It will. Yeah, I'll just cut it to the size of the die. We'll use this part, I think, because I like the kind of shabby details that we have here. I got from oxide, I assume. I don't necessarily remember. Okay, then I cut this. And yeah, as you can see, it cuts basically two doors. And technically, all I'm gonna do, actually, it's not, I mean, I guess it is technical, but anyway, all I'm gonna do is take these pieces glue them on another piece of paper that will be a base and cut around it to make a single door. However, because I feel like it, I wanted to be more, to give more of a feeling of the boards. I'm actually going to cut each one of these in two in the length. So we'll have just an extra little detail of how the doors would look like. Okay. Let me know that everything is well. I mean, it became quite quiet in the chat, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm just, because I have technical issues every now and then, I'm just making sure that you're still with me and I'm still with you. And so I have some craft paper that I'm just going to glue it on, or maybe, no, you know what? I'll glue it on black. Oh, yeah, I have a nice piece of black cardstock that I used to, this was the base of the house. So this is enough here. And I'm just gonna, before I glue it down, I am gonna go over the edges to darken them, to give like a little bit of extra shading, extra detail, because we love our details. Oh, I'm glad to hear. What are you making, Christiana? Crafting along is the best option. Okay, next one. Shading this a bit. I feel sometimes like I should put like background music, and I think actually that now the streaming programs allows me to put background music. I'm just always scared of doing that because I always have sound issues. And you know, I don't know what kind of, also I'm not sure what kind of music exactly they're offering as background music. And I don't think that's, elevator music would not be the fun thing. Now my mood turn always to journal pages as a meaning of putting emotions there inside, let them out. Yeah. Yes. That is very good. I don't really journal. Um, I've never journaled. I've tried so many times, but I've never been able to keep up with it for more than, um, I don't know, 2 weeks, maybe. So, but I get it. I mean, I just don't, just because it's not sitting in a book doesn't mean that you don't want to make something to get your emotions out. Yeah. Well, I've seen your journal pages and they're gorgeous. So, I hope that it gives you all the calmness that you need. I'll put this on the white so you can actually see. So what I'm doing now is simply reassembling our little, the two sides of the door on this black cardstock. And I think I'm gonna, yeah. And I'm just thinking while I'm working if I want to, mm, no. Okay. Okay. So I'm just kind of, I think that I might actually Because I don't know if I want the door to stand at top. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is actually I'm going to glue just this little top part. So we have the door. And this little part is actually, I'm going to use it to glue it on this space, which I am going to cut a little thinner. If you're not entirely sure what I mean, you'll see in a second. So, okay. We have assembled the door on its base. And now I'm just going to very simply take my scissors and cut around it. And there you have it. And now you see we have a single door instead of having two doors. And what I'm going to do is, okay, so I'm going to kind of use some tweezers if I'll find them to make sure that this part here is actually a hinge sort of thing. That is folding. Okay. Don't necessarily want the door to be very open, but I want to have the option. And now basically I am going to have this little hinge here, basically between the black backing and this little, just making sure that the bottom is also straight here. And between the wood of the door. So, well, I'm gonna put some glue here on top, and just because it's easier for me, I'm gonna put it in here on the black, and just drop it immediately because that's what we do. No. Just going to basically slide it from the side. And I might need to cut it a little more narrow. Let's see. No, it seems fine. And just pushing it to place. And yep, our door is in. And I can even kind of push it a bit back and it will sit perfectly inside. Okay. Cool. So this is basically the door. I am going to add a couple more details now, just because we can. We'll take a bit of the wood grain paper and I'm going to add some lines, basically. Actually, let's see. I might be able to use this one. Yep. So I just took the part here in the middle that was cut with the die cut between the doors, just nice and thin and straight. And I'm just gonna gently shade it. There we go. Okay. And we'll just add a little line here. Means 15 minutes. Okay. It's fine. Hmm. Cleaning the glue a little bit here. And I'm gonna just, cut this right at the edge. And we'll use the marker to darken the exposed part. Oh, okay. I didn't do it very straight, but there we go. Fixed. Ha. And we can use this part, the other half, for another line. We'll do, let's see, I think around here be good. If you remember, then if you knew what's the name of it? I think it was the Finlit die set that Tim released of kind of additions for the original dwellings. I think it was called Fixer Upper or something like that. It had a door that had a lot of these kind of basically these kind of details, like having sort of boards and these cross beams thingy. And I really liked it, so I kind of recreated with these new dies here. Okay, cool. That's our door. We'll let this dry completely as we start on the window frames, which I will probably not do all, just because it's already been almost an hour, so I'm not sure if we'll finish all of it, but we'll finish enough. Now, for the window frames, let me just get the dies for a sec again. There's all the windows and window frames here. This is here, and I'm actually gonna, yeah, let's get it up now. So we have all of our window options. Ooh, that was a bit loud, sorry. And we can see on the swatch, and I think that I'm gonna go with this kind of, I think we can call it classic by now, these very simple squares, because I also have a couple of windows that are this size, and I like the idea that they would fit, basically. So I'll go with that. And for the tower, I'll probably go with this one just because I like having the extra detail on the frame. Now, because these dies are very, very thin, these frames are very, very thin, you don't really need a ton of, you don't really need, I mean, you don't have to have any texture, really. But I want to have some detail. The thing is that a lot of times if you're using texture paper, it will cut through, but it just doesn't necessarily look that well. Perhaps surprisingly, I'm not sure. But what we can do is use stamps or something like that to kind of have the texture, but on a flat paper. Basically, you can use just texture paper that, pattern paper that has the look of wood. Like if you have that, you could use that. I don't have that, so I'm just gonna either use a stamp. I was thinking of using the wood veneer, but I feel like it's actually, especially because the roof is wood, the wood veneer is maybe a little bit too delicate, or something. So we have two options. Basically, I was thinking either use these classic blanks stamp, or use this wood grain stamp. This one is, I think, Hero Arts, which will give us more very delicate detail. I don't know. No, let's go with the planks because we want more detail in it, and this one does have it. So I'm just going to use some archival ink, and I think I might use brown espresso or vintage photo, or I have some other options, but yeah, and I'm going to use it on a craft paper. So possibly we'll need some more inking, but not a lot. And I'm just looking at the stamp to see if there's an angle, like an area that I would prefer. Not really. So yeah, I'm just gonna, and yeah, so sometimes when I stamp this kind of like background stamps, I prefer to actually do it upside down, sort of. Hi, Penny. How are you? I don't know if it's called upside down, but basically, instead of taking the stamp to the paper, I take the paper to the stamp. It's sometimes just easier. And just, yeah, have some nice even pressure. And there we go. It's a very nice stamp, really nice detail. I'll do the other side too, just in case. 'Cause I'm not entirely sure how much paper will need. So yes. And of course we can add more, details, kind of dirty it up with some inking, distress inks, and so on. We'll see what we feel like, I think. Okay, cool. Just put this aside. Oh, I'm sorry, I just realized that my cat is sitting right behind me and looking at me all this time because I am paying attention to you and not her, and that is obviously very, very bad of me. Oops, just dropping things in the background. Apologies. Okay, so let's just do a few window frames and see what we like. Gonna use this die and this die, and this one. This is what we need. Let's see. Just gonna place it on here. Every now and then I just need to take a look at the screen and make sure that I'm actually still visible. But so far, so good. Now, apologies about the shakes. We will definitely have some shakes now. There we go. Let's see how these frames fit with our house, the coloring and so on. And then we'll decide if we want anything more. So yeah, you can see this is super thin. I hope you can focus. And I think you can see. These are super, super thin frames. And if we look, you know what? Where is the like this piece of shingle? you can see how the grain on the shingle is it's just a bigger detail than what we managed to get on the window. But I think it fits rather well together. So let's see if this would work for us here, or if we want to add more. I think it's okay if it would kindly sit in place. Yeah, the one thing that I might do, actually, I do like that, yeah. So we might want to add, though, a little bit of like ink to the craft paper, just to give it a little bit more interest and stains. Most of it will not actually be visible. So I'm thinking. I think that actually what I'll do instead is add, where is it? There it is. Sorry, I was looking for my my die pick to get this out, because it's definitely easier than with my fingers. Okay. So what I think I will do actually is add a little bit of the second one? Yes. Add a little bit of I'm sorry. I'm thinking of, so here's the problem. Once I'm starting to think of like, oh, what should I add? What should I do? I just shut up, because my brain is not thinking loudly, which is usually a good thing, but when you're doing a live, it's sometimes a bit awkward. But just trying to decide if I want to make it a little bit more yellowish. You know what? Let's just try it. I'm gonna try and add a little bit of maybe brushed corduroy. Yeah, let's go with brushed corduroy. I think actually this is see if I like it better. Just because I think it would work better with a roof. Yes, I do. Okay, cool. So with these frames, I'm just gonna add a little bit here, and then I'll just add it on the paper itself, so we wouldn't have to do it with each frame on its own. Because that does take time, you know? Yeah, you do. I think I might even, it's one of the things that I like about the minis is that you can very easily just use them straight on the paper, and it does work very nicely. One finishing touch that I will do probably afterwards also is to actually have use something like Mod Podge or collage medium on the frame to give them a teensy bit of shine, just because it gives it more the impression of wood frame. I don't like if you're doing a sort of new looking house, then I would definitely use something like just gloss varnish. But you know, this is an old shabby house, so I would like to have a little bit of a shine, as in, you know, left over of the varnish, but I don't want it to be too old looking. That sounds terrible. But yeah, basically, I'm gonna use maybe my tweezers for this. Um, it's just easier sometimes. Um, sometimes the tweezers glue to the frame, and that's a little annoying. Okay, so there we go. Okay, this one. Just gonna, yeah, sure it's glued down. Because, all the texture that we added obviously means that, well, that it's not an even surface and that you need to push things down to make sure they're glued. That's all. Um, yeah. Okay, one frame on. We'll add this one too. Now, I wanted to ask you because basically the house itself will be finished once we add, ooh, yeah, once we finish adding the window frames, the house is finished. But as you probably know, if you've seen some of my other videos or, followed me for a while, when I make these houses, give them, I usually give them like a little yard, an environment, shall we say. And the question is, I was thinking of doing that next week. Would you be interested? Because it's not the house itself anymore. It's not going to be, I might use some dyes, I'm not sure, but it's going to be basically um, more details, obviously, because it's me. But it's kind of like an extra. So if you're interested, I am very happy to do it. And that's was sort of my plan for next week. Because, in truth, like this is a very cute little house, but the whole idea of it being a magical house or a house of someone, like a fairy house or a wizard's house or something like that, that can only be deduced from having the surroundings. Yes, please. Yay, good. Wholeness. So that's what we'll do next week. Um, very exciting. So I'll do and yeah, we'll do a little. I'm still thinking of how exactly to do it. So it would be, yeah, like a fairy house or a witch house. I don't know, one of those. Can be both. Um, just making sure this one is in the right angle. I have some ideas, and it would be fun either way. That I can assure you. Alrighty. I think that now that we have the front of the house, basically, I think we'll finish for today because I believe I think we're adding more frames. You get it, right? It's like it's exactly the same. We go around and adding all the frame. Um, I will definitely add some, like I said, some either collage medium or Mod Podge or something like that. Well, the Mod Podge that I use is this one, the matte one. So it has um, they always have a little bit of a shine. Collage medium too. Oh, it's a little bit. It's like a satin shine or something like that. Um, and I think that tends to really add something to the house, especially because in this case, no, no, especially just it adds. I would really like. I like the having the kind of little bit of sheen on something like the doors and wood frames, window frames, because they are traditionally finished with varnish. So unlike the shingles, for example, so it does feel like a nice little detail to add. So I'll do that later. I'll finish all of these the window frames, and I'll post some photos of that, and we'll do yeah. So next week we'll do some at least part of the surroundings, like have a little yard, and definitely have some moss because we need to have some moss on the roof and on all kind of places. Um, and I don't know. I'll think of. I have an idea of like also adding maybe a little lantern to the front, like here in this area here. There's a lot of a lot of room to do something. So it can be like a sign. But I feel like doing maybe a tiny little lantern or something like that. And yeah, yard. It's fun having a yard. So cool. Um, yes, a lantern is always cool. Alrighty. So thank you so, so very much for joining me. Another reminder that on Sunday, I will be doing a live stream together with Jess from Matter of Crafts. It'll be on both our channels, so it'll be the same on both our channels. You can go to each of them is convenient to you. Um, it's already set up in my channel, so it's kind of you can go there and set a reminder if you want. Obviously, I will also post about it as a reminder to let you know. I have no idea what we're going to do. We kind of decided to go with it and see what we'll do. So it'll be fun, a nice little surprise. And next week, yeah, same time, same place. We'll continue with a little house and we'll build it a little yard and we'll see how far we'll get with it. And that's it for now. So yeah, thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.